Portfolios, Part 2. Numero dos. Okay, so this is where we left you with all of the circles completely done. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's next, Mr. P? What's next? Well, I want you to grab your favorite marker. I want you to trace around one of the circles. Doesn't matter that it intersects with other circles. Just trace around it and then get the water. And we're going to start painting. Painting? Have you ever painted with markers before? Yeah! All you need is regular markers, the washable kind, and then just the water and a brush. And the water kind of moves the color around on your paper. And I want you to take some time and paint your circles. It's so easy. And you have a ton of circles, right? Your whole paper is covered with them, front and back. Oh, I can't wait to see what they all look like with all these wonderful, colorful circles just all over the place. I want to tell you about this little tip or trick. When you start putting colors together like close to each other like this, the one that you just painted has to be dry before you put another color next to it, or you're going to have something called bleeding. One color is going to bleed into the previous color. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I did not want my blue-green to bleed into my orange or into my raspberry, but that's what happened because I left my orange and my raspberry wet before I started painting my blue-green. See how close I'm getting there? See how close? That wouldn't have been able to happen if I hadn't used my napkin first to dab, dab, dab. You can paint a circle over here, and while it's drying, paint a circle over there, and while it's drying, paint a circle down there. You get the idea. But when they start getting close to one another, you're gonna have to use the napkin to try and dry it if it's not already dry. Yeah, tip or trick. Number 1. Tip and trick numero dos. When you choose a marker, I want you to open it. See how there's a point, but then there's also a broad side? Don't use the point to draw around the circle. Use that broad side. With one swoop of your marker, you can get a really nice thick line of color on your paper. Doing that, oh my gosh, it'll make it go faster. All you have to do is one swoop around the circle. You grab your brush, and that'll be a sufficient amount of color to move around those circles. There's really no need to trace around the circle multiple times with your marker. Got it, got it? Good. And the last tip or trick that I'm going to give you before I set you loose to creating your own beautiful, colorful art portfolio is try not to put the same color next to each other. Yeah, don't have like a clump of blue circles and a clump of green ones and a clump of red ones. Kind of vary the color a little bit. If they're right next to each other or touching, or as you can see, overlapping one another, yeah, try to make them different colors. It looks super awesome that way, right? I like it, I love it. This is what we're doing today. I'd like you now to go and have